Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel, to the Solana family. Appreciate all the love. Let's get right in today's update and really take a look at what's happening with Sol and what we could be expecting going into Wednesday morning. Shout out to the Solana family. Make sure you guys are subscribed onto the channel so you're notified every time we do an upload on Sol. Looking across the board, again, I would say over the last 10 minutes, not even over the last 1 hour, you have seen a little bit of a bounce for the broader market, and we can see that if I were to show you guys the hourly time frame. But again, as far as the 24-hour time frame is concerned, we're seeing quite a bit of red across the board. But I'm sure at this point, if you watch my ADA update, if you watch my HBAR update, you know what's happening. But if not, no problem. We're going to be discussing what is happening right now. So as I discussed in some of my other updates, like I said, for HBAR, Cardano, we actually had a great day. Yesterday was a great day, but again, we're finding the market tumbling back towards the downside, and that is due to obviously the tariff conversations once again, and that is to be expected. Market makers really stepping in to shake out the markets, and we have seen that happen right in front of us. But the price of Sol, let's give it a refresh live here, $184.77, pretty much break even on the USD side of things, down about 0.1% on the Bitcoin side of things, nothing crazy. Valuation still maintaining above $100 billion. And the 24-hour trading volume right now on Sol is currently sitting at 8 billion. As always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in cryptocurrency. So looking at the Bitcoin, dominance here, again, since our last update, whenever we spoke about, Sol last, I'm sure at this point, you guys can clearly see that the dominance has gone much higher. You can see this for yourself. We actually went up to almost 60%. And since then, we have seen the dominance, drop in a little bit. But again, the upwards trend is something we want to be paying attention to. This is not something we want to really see, but with the market uncertainty right now, with the fear that we're seeing within the market, with the volatility, it kind of explains why you are seeing the dominance, increasing. But we will really want to see the dominance, pushing down to some of the levels we haven't seen since September. That's where the excitement, as far as excitement is concerned, that's where it kicks in my opinion. And this is where I think the likes of a Sol, along with a lot of altcoins, will, see that excitement. But Sol, again, I can make an argument that it's already seeing excitement, which of course I'm going to kind of talk about right now with you guys. But, Bitcoin, again, I'm going to quickly summarize this for you guys. Bitcoin saw a 7% pump yesterday. But again, like I said, tariff conversations came again, and we did see literally the entire gain that it made. It was just completely wiped out because the price is literally exactly where it needs to. Where it was before this major move towards the upside. But again, we need to be looking for our confirmations. We need to remain within the 23.6 bare minimum, and maybe we do get back up to that key range. We'll see what happens. Like I said, as far as the tariff conversations are concerned, I think the market has already matured, but market makers really manipulate the markets, and that's part of the game. But as far as the market as a whole, I think as far as tariff conversations are concerned, I think the market has kind of moved away from it, because we saw what happened at the beginning of this year, and we're kind of seeing that happening once again. But of course, people are going to always talk about the October 10th wick. That was clear manipulation, guys. That was clear manipulation in my opinion. But right now, Bitcoin's sitting at $108,275. Obviously, we do have some resistance around the $108,663. Breaking above here takes us back into the 23.6 Fibonacci retracement level. But with that being said, let's take a look at what's happening with Solana, because Solana actually reacted on a really positive note with this move that we did see for Bitcoin, where we went up to $114,000, even though that was very short. But Sol did show interesting things, and what I mean by that is, let me kind of zoom in here for you guys just so you guys can really understand what's happening. So as of now, of course, like I said, we're back to where we were, back to square one. And you can see that is literally the support of the 38.2 Fibonacci retracement level. And at this point, I can literally count so many times how much, this support has come in our favor. Let's actually take a look at it here. Oopsies, this is not what we need. Apologies here. So I want you guys to take a look how many times we've actually seen the price being supported around that range. Once, 2 times, 3 times, 4, 5, 6. 6 different times over the last few days, price of Sol has seen it held on this ground. But that's not what we're here for. We're here to talk about this move. So nice correlation with BTC, went higher than where we were the day before. Very, very impressive. We saw something similar happen with HBAR as well, which I obviously highlighted to you guys. But again, if you want to put this into perspective, let's take a look at it. If you bought this literally last night, you saw Sol go up 8%. Very impressive. So, kind of outpacing Bitcoin, which is very impressive. The reason why I say that is because there are actually some altcoins that are lagging behind, even in USD compared to Bitcoin, because of course the dominance has increased, as we could see for ourselves. But Sol actually outpaced BTC in this move itself. But again, we're back down to ground zero. But the support is very, very important at this point, and I'm sure we all can agree upon that. But look where we got stopped out, $197 price point. Your boy CryptoZX talked about that with you guys before, that this would be the next target to be looking out for, just below our confirmation zone at the 200, which again is a psychological level as well. But Sol is showing nice moves in my opinion. I think Sol's next move, when the market stabilizes, and that is obviously dependent on BTC, Bitcoin needs to stabilize, dominance needs to start pulling down. I personally believe Sol will be back in the 23.6 much quicker than a lot of people are realizing, in my personal opinion. There's so much happening for Sol right now, and I think even in the long term, with the way things are going, obviously there is always a risk factor with every coin. But the way things are going, and if they continue to evolve the way they are, we haven't really even seen the ETF kick in yet. So, I think we will be looking at Sol in the next few years to come, because again, let's take a look at it. No one wanted to touch it. Your boy CryptoZX been talking about Sol below $20. Yes, you've heard that correct. I was looking at Sol at $11, $15, $20. No one was paying attention to except the OG CryptoZX followers. Appreciate all the love. Shout out to Michael. And there were a lot of other ones as well. And, we weren't getting as much interest. And, it's kind of reminding me of the similar time again on my channel specifically, because retail, interest is nowhere near as to where it was, when we saw market kind of peaking. I wouldn't really say peaking, but like late last year when we saw like the parabolic run. Even last year, 2024, was actually a good year for us. So, but retail just isn't there at the level we would expect. But I think that changes once, we do see uncertainty kind of, go down. And you see the dominance pulling down. Look what happened in September. September retail was all over the place, but retail actually has been shaken out right now, and that is part of the game. But again, make sure on the CryptoZX channel we're going to be the winners. We're going to try to be the winners, and we're going to be doing our due diligence research. And of course, remember, invest what you can afford to lose, and also have an exit strategy in place. Ask yourself, what is your risk strategy? How long are you in this market for? If it's the long haul, you guys know my golden line. Patience is your number one key to follow. Love you all. See you later on CryptoZX, and peace out.